So as we're underway with the first of that formation lap, so let's have a look at the grid for this second junior race. It's going to be Ollie Caldwell to start from pole position. Kart number 64 heads the way. Alongside him will be the local man, Javier Hansemer. Onto row 2 is going to be Antoine Percival from France and Lucas Dunner alongside from Austria. Then onto row 3 is Laszlo Toth and Pepijn Krajeveld. Row 4, another Brit there, Mark Kimber in kart number 7, and Sebastian Essner is alongside the German. Row number 5, we then see the likes of Kenzo Ertz, and Conor McCarthy is there in kart number 23. Onto row 6, we then see Kilian Meyer, the Spaniard, who didn't fare too well at his home round for the Winter Cup a few weeks ago, but he's down there on row 6. Sim Ledmar is then alongside. Row 7 has the likes of Tibet Clement, and Lucas Ask is there as well. To row 8, we see Tamino Bergmeyer and Laurie Lepper alongside him. Row 9 is headed by Jumbo Kovacs, one we mentioned on the dummy grid, and Jacob Matthias Oja. And then row 10 we see the likes of Jörg Kos, who was really impressive at the Winter Cup. A long way down here in Belgium though. Let's see what he can do, the Estonian. And on that row 10 and with him is Matthias Lund. Row 11 then has Andrea Volta and Jean Nomble. Row 12 is Valdemir Eriksson and Hamda Al-Gabasi, one of our sister pairings this weekend. And then row 13 has Liam Crystal from the Dubai area, and also Mattea Caprik, who rounds out the 26 starters for this second junior race. So the kart's on their way down towards the far end of the circuit, down off the back straight in towards the right-hander at turn 5. From then on in, kind of round turn 7 after the hairpin, they'll start to get themselves aligned in good formation, side by side of course. And we'll see who's going to make the best of starts this time, and how much drama there may well be down towards turn number 1. Of course, as we said, inside line is probably the best place to be, and we'll see if anyone can sweep round the outside. Which they have done. Of course, if you can keep on the outside and keep yourself there, turn 2 is then a left-hander, so you kind of put yourself in a really good position. But let's see what they can all do. They are now near enough in perfect formation. There may be one missing from the back there. No, they're just slightly out of form. Now they get into perfect alignment. A lot of bumping and boring, as you normally see, as they get closer and closer together. And this is great formation. You want to be as close as possibly you can be. On the front row, Ollie Caldwell and Javier Hansemer. Who's going to get the best run as the lights are about to go out for 8 laps of racing for juniors once more as they head down towards turn number 1. Already Lucas Dunner trying to squeeze through onto that inside line. He knows how important it's got to be as they turn their way through the right-hander. Hopefully they'll all stay out of drama this time. All over the curb they go, trying to make up the best possible place they can, and they've all made it safely through. So they've learned from the previous junior race, but it is Ollie Caldwell who heads the field. Is that going to be Javier Hansemer in second? I don't think it is. It's going to be possibly Laszlo Toth who's come through the order as well. That's a little bit lower down. Kart number 7, which is Mark Kimber, who heads the next train. So 3 have broken away. Ollie Caldwell, Laszlo Toth, I'm sure that is in second, and possibly either Anton Percival or I think it might be Javier Hansemer in third place. So let's try and work out which number we have there in third. Yeah, but it is Javier Hansemer, so he's managed to stay there with the leaders, which is good. But what a start from Laszlo Toth, who's come through from row 3 and squeezed his way to the front of this pack. So the top 3 have broken away. Mark Kimber, as we said, leads the next train, with behind him number 44, which is Antoine Percival, who makes a move down at turn number 1. He goes for the inside line, and not just one goes through, but 2 in fact follow through there as well. Lucas Dunner was the second one to get ahead of Mark Kimber. So just like that, click of the fingers, you go down 2 places in the space of 1 corner. That's where the action seems to be for now within this race, although it's getting pretty close for the front as well. I'll keep an eye on that, and also the fight for 4th place as the leaders head off the back straight. No change there, side by side for what's going to be 5th, 6th, 7th and 8th places. And again, there's been another shuffle up amongst the order. Someone coming through there was number 37, which is Pepijn Krajeveld. So Pepijn's got himself up into 5th place by the looks of it. The top 3 are very close as well here, as Ollie Caldwell has been passed now for the lead of the race. Laszlo Toth has got to the head in kart number 42. What can the man at the back do? Javier Hansemer, he also goes for the inside line at the final corner, and Javier gets himself through into 2nd place. So 2 good moves from 2 great racers there. Ollie Caldwell now finds himself in 3rd, but can he fight back at turn number 1? He thinks about it. Up on the curb goes Javier Hansemer, who tags the back of Laszlo Toth. They then hamper themselves, don't really give the chance to Ollie Caldwell to get through. But of course, if they continue to battle like this, it will bring the rest of the pack flying up the order here. So watch out for the next of the trains, as there's a change again for 2nd place there, because Ollie Caldwell has got his way back through. But I was just going to say that could bring the next of the trains through, which is headed by Antoine Percival at the minute. So Antoine is on the charge. Krajeweld is there. Lucas Dunner. Mark Kimber has now dropped down to 7th position, and he's under attack as well from Tamino Bergmeyer by the looks of it, in that blue, red and yellow cart. So those carts are all together there. On screen you can see Ollie Caldwell, who is still in second ahead of Javi Hansemer, and he's nearly there now. Cart number 44, Antoine Percival, who has got himself onto the back. In fact, that's not him, is it? It's Pepsin Krajeweld who's come through that time. Cart number 37, who's going for 3rd place now on the inside line. He's trying to get down the inside, which he does just about, but can he hold it all the way around? Yes, he can. He sneaks the cart back into the right position, and Krajeweld now jumps ahead of Javier Hansemer. So really good racing from the juniors so far today. I know it's their only first 2 races, but really action-packed stuff towards the front, as we normally see from this field, of course. Oh, there's a little bit of rubbing there from someone in 8th place. That would have been Tamino Bergmeyer, who nearly rode the back of the Lucas Dunner cart there. So be careful not to do that in the early stages of today. You don't want to get a bad result, which then you need to make up for later on in the afternoon. So those two got a little bit too close for comfort, but no drama done for them now. Still leading the way is Laszlo Toff. Second is Ollie Caldwell. Nothing to choose between them as Ollie goes for a move down towards the final corner. The door has been left open and no second invitation needed, as also looking to get through there is going to be Krajeweld in cart number 37. Oh, and squeezed onto the grass there was Laszlo Toff. He nearly got into the wall there as the arms and elbows came out from Krajeweld. He's now still in 2nd place. Where's Laszlo Toff dropped down to? 4th by the looks of it. As up ahead of him has gone Antoine Percival into 3rd place. As quick as we say these names, they change places, don't they? Mark Kimber now squeezes through up into 4th place at the hairpin at turn number 4, and already has stolen march over the rest of the field. So Mark Kimber getting back into the rhythm. He needs a big spin there down at the back straight, and that's going to be the cart of 37, which is Krajeweld. So Krajeweld flies off the track, and whether that was his own doing or whether he was kind of pushed into it, I think he just went too late on the brakes and the back end just stepped down. But what a result that's not going to be for Krajeweld to take away from this first heat. He was inside the top 3, and just a lap ago he was challenging for the race lead as well. So that's really put Krajeweld down the order. Ollie Caldwell this time comes through to lead, so what a change around we've had towards the front. Javier Hansemer is back up into 2nd place. 3rd place now is going to be, as we wait for the timing screen to catch up, Antoine Percival. And in 4th place, Mark Kimber has come back through as well. Cart number 7 from what was the 4th row of the grid. Mark Kimber is now possibly challenging for the lead of the race. He sits in 4th. A change for 2nd though. Hansemer's been passed by Antoine Percival. Mark Kimber can't quite get through by the looks of it. So he sits there in 4th place. But is that his teammate he's running onto the back of very shortly? 61 is the Javier Hansemer car, which is the Bouvon Power, and of course Mark Kimber's with Strawberry. Those two colours are very similar, Bouvon and Strawberry, but they are different teams as they work their way down towards the right-hander of turn number 8. Still Ollie Caldwell that leads, 2nd for Antoine Percival, 3rd for Mark Kimber now, and 4th place for Javier Hansemer. Behind it's all changed as well, because 33 has come through, which is Tamino Bergmeyer, up into 5th place, and in 6th place, just to let you know, is Kenzo Ertz now in cart number 73. Meantime, back at the front with just a couple of laps to go, Ollie Caldwell is under attack once more from Antoine Percival in cart number 44. He can't get a move done at turn 2. What can he do at turn 3? Normally nothing, but it leads you into turn 4, which is always a good place to overtake. Mark Kimber jumps onto those brakes very late indeed there. He closes the gap between himself and Antoine Percival. But what can he do at turn number 5? He gets the nose down the inside line. Very nicely done from Mark Kimber. He makes himself heard and seen in now 2nd place. So the two Brits head the field once more. Ollie Caldwell and Mark Kimber. Slight gap already forms between 2nd and 3rd with Antoine Percival and a nodding Javier Hansemer as he works his way down towards turn number 8. That's just a nod to himself to get on with the job and try and catch up with the top 2 and maybe make a move on Antoine Percival into the final corner. Not quite close enough to do so. But on to what will be now the start of the last lap for Ollie Caldwell and Mark Kimber. Great run from Mark. Can he get a move done at turn 1? The door is left open again, and Mark Kimber storms to the front of this field on what is very importantly the last lap of the race. So Mark Kimber goes through. Ollie Caldwell gets demoted to 2nd. 3rd place, the change has happened. Javier Hansemer comes up ahead of Antoine Percival, and there is now a warning flag for 48, which is the cart which finds himself a little bit lower down at the minute. Nothing really to worry about there for that, but just a warning flag for Lucas Ask on this last lap. The leaders through the chicane on towards turn 6 they now head, and it's still Mark Kimbrough ahead of Ollie Caldwell. A couple more corners to hold on for. Can he take his first victory of the weekend? Slight glance to the right just to make sure Ollie Caldwell is not too close to make a move, but be warned, Mark, he can make the move at the final corner. I don't think he's quite close enough here, so Mark Kimbrough should be good enough to hold on to the win in this one. Through the final corner he comes, the checker flag is at the ready, and it looks like Mark Kimbrough has done enough to take the first heat win for himself here at the Belgium track. He goes through with a margin a lot less than the previous race of just a tenth of a second over Ollie Caldwell. So a great race between everyone really with inside the top 10. But it was Mark Kimbrough who comes through to make it a Brit 1-2. Ollie Caldwell second. Third place then for the Belgium on his home track, Javier Handsemer. Behind that we saw then the Frenchman Anton Percival. Great race for both of those. Kenzo Arts kind of stayed out of trouble and got himself up into the top 5 places. And then behind that we saw the likes of Tamino Bergmeyer. He made 9 places from his starting grid, and Tommy Clement as well got up to 7th place. Behind that, Laszlo Toff with the problems dropped down to 8th place. Lucas Ask with the warning flag in 9th, and we then saw Esner, Conor McCarthy and Laurie Lepper to round out your top 12 within that second heat for the juniors. On that previous lap we had Pepin Krajewel back on track and doing the second best sector of anyone within that race on the last lap. So if he wouldn't have had that problem, I think Krajewel could have been right within the mix as well, not just for the top 3 but possibly for the win. But instead it goes to Mark Kimbrough. He stayed out of trouble and made up 6 places throughout that race. Ollie Caldwell and Javier Handsemer your top 3. So again, another really competitive junior race. We'll have to wait a little bit longer now for their next bit of track action, which was going to be around about 20 past 1 this afternoon. So the next junior will be at 20 past 1, but very shortly we'll look towards the seniors for the first time on track here at the Genk track. But well done to Mark Kimbrough, that gives him 0 points. Ollie Caldwell gets second, and Javier Handsemer rounds out your top 3 for what again was a very exciting junior race here at the Genk.